Welcome back, YouTube and BookTube. Sandy Golston back here with another writing sprint. I got one in this morning, which was really good. I did one also on Saturday, which was also a very productive writing sprint for NaNoWriMo 2020. And the way I'm feeling about it right now is pretty good because I am sitting right now at 49,655 words. And so that's putting me in a good position right now to be able to knock this out with this writing sprint right here. So I'm going to start right now with a 15-minute writing sprint, and I'm going to jump right on into it here pretty quick. So right here, knocking on the door of that 50,000 word goal. So I decided to just kind of jump right into this because I was watching my Lions early in NFL action, and they were pretty much choke slammed into the ground by the Carolina Panthers. So that kind of put a little bit of a damper on the day. So I decided, what better way to recover from a pretty much humiliating defeat than by jumping right back into some writing, and specifically with NaNoWriMo 2020. So that's where we are right now as I prepare to jump back into it. Welcome, James Nicholson. My buddy is right back here with me. So thank you for joining me here. And as I mentioned in the earlier one, I am in a pretty good spot right now. I'm in Act 3 of the 3-act structure for developing a novel. And so I'm at a pretty good stage right now. And in the earlier live, I went through kind of what the 3-act format, structure, whatever you want to call it, looks like. And I might actually pop that back up again because I still have that tab open. So it looks like I'm going to be able to pop that open and show you that a little bit and maybe give you a little bit of an idea as to where I'm at right now. So I'm going to go with about a 15-minute sprint right here as far as writing because I want to make sure that I hit that goal right now. I could probably hit that goal in 10 minutes, but I'm going to give myself a few extra minutes. I like the spot where I'm at right now, so I could probably do it in 10 minutes, but I'm going to go ahead and stretch it out to 15-minute sprint. And I'm going to begin that here in a couple of minutes. And that 15-minute sprint will take us to about 8:40 p.m. Here on the Eastern time zone, which is where I'm at. So getting ready to do that, and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm looking at this novel right now. I think it's going to end up maybe being a little bit shorter than what I was originally thinking. Originally, I was thinking it was going to be in the 75 to 80,000 range for me to bring it to the finish line. But now it's looking more like it's going to be in the 70 to 75,000 word range. And so that's a good range. I don't typically put a lot of fluff in my novels that I write. I usually keep them pretty direct and keep them with a nice flow, especially on the initial draft. And then when I come back on subsequent drafts, usually the next two edits, I should say, more than drafts, the next two edits, I will typically go through and start to add some of the descriptive text a little bit to maybe flesh out the subplots a little bit more backstory for some of the characters to try to bring them to life a little bit more, and then to add to the depth of the story. So it's not just one storyline that you may or may not be interested in, but it actually has multiple storylines that hopefully will keep the reader interested and engaged with depth of interest in the story, as opposed to one central storyline that may or may not be interesting to the reader. So definitely want to give the reader a little bit more value for their time and their efforts. So with that, let me go ahead and set up the timer here. So let me go ahead and share this screen and get the old timer set up here. Whoops, the wrong tab there. So Chrome tab and timer set there. Got 15 minutes on the timer. So we're going to go, let me switch that up a little bit and do it that way. We're going to switch this up and go about 15 minutes. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get started here. Okay, so writing mini sprint number 1 is in the books right now, and I'm going to go ahead and tally up what I have right now. And hang on a second. Hang on a second. Let me go ahead and tally this up here. And it looks like I got 515 words on that sprint. So pretty solid numbers there for me, putting me within striking range of where I want to be. So let me go ahead and clear this, reset that to 15 minutes. And maybe you guys that are in the chat can let me know how you guys are doing. Let's see. Everybody doing okay tonight? Trying to get a few pieces in place here before I computer started acting a little bit weird here as I was trying to tally up here. So let me make sure everything is all good to go. All right. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to set the clock here for another sprint here. See what Barbara's going to be editing. Your work in progress sounds good. James not writing. Yeah, man, I'm feeling you. I remember you saying that earlier, and I'm like, that is a tough one. I've definitely been there and can absolutely relate to that, as I mentioned earlier. So I feel you on that one. All right, so let me. My Word file is acting kind of weird here, so let me step off here for just a couple of minutes here. I need to fix something with my file here. So let me do this real quick and I will come back with you guys here in a second as got to fix an issue here with my file here. So hang on a second. All right, I'm back here after some technical difficulties here, and wow. I must have hit the sticky keys thing, and it just pretty much obliterated all the progress that I just made. Yeah, so back to the drawing board here, and not going to let the devil stay in the way of me reaching my goal here. So we're back on track here, and I am going to set the clock here for 15 minutes, and we're going to go to about 9:12 p.m. here. So I'm going to see if I can get those words back and then some as we go from there. Everybody hopefully is doing well tonight, and appreciate those of you who are joining me tonight, and maybe let me know something about the project that you're working on. Those of you who haven't already done that. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and jump right on into it and begin this next writing sprint right now. Okay, so that writing sprint is in the books here. No technical difficulties this time. Here, let me get this thing off the screen here real quick. And let's go ahead and rack it up here. And let's see what we got here. We got we got 695 words during that sprint. So I got my words back and then some. And so that's a good thing. Yeah, Barbara, this computer is it's a little weird. And I think the sticky keys got triggered somehow. And then the next thing I knew, some of the text got smaller and text was copy and pasted all over the place. And I knew, I'm like, oh, the only way I couldn't fix it, it wouldn't let me undo it. And so I knew the only way I was going to be able to remedy it was to pretty much sacrifice. It wouldn't even let me copy and paste anything. So I knew I was pretty much going to have to sacrifice the progress that I had just made. So it's all good. I pretty much remembered what I wrote, and I probably came back and wrote it better. It's Windows, actually. Yeah, but for some reason, it just wouldn't let me undo it. It was just really strange. So, but it's all good though. Like I said, I was able to recover, not recover, but I was able to duplicate what I'd already written, and probably did it even better the second time around. So that puts me in a good spot there. So 695 words, which is pretty good. And that's well beyond even what I did in the first sprint. So definitely happy about that, to be able to recover that. So that puts me in a pretty good spot right now. I'm pretty sure that gets me past 50,000, but let's just look and see just to be sure. And it does. It puts me over 50,000 for NaNoWriMo. It actually puts me right at 50,350. So feeling pretty good about that. Doing pretty good there. So everybody I'm getting ready to do another writing sprint here. We're going to go for about 15 minutes here again. So get your words ready to go here. 197, that's really good. What kind of project are you working on, Barbara? I think you might have mentioned it earlier here. Let me go back. My brain was kind of fried. Let's see. Oh, you said, that's right, you did say you were editing a work in progress. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. I downloaded Google Sync and backup for our desktop, and it automatically backs up my Google. You know what? That's a good point. I think I have OneDrive activated, so it probably I probably could have gotten back at it with OneDrive. That's actually a good point that you mentioned that. I had OneDrive activated on my other computer. I deactivated OneDrive because the other computer that I had before I got this one was really slow, and OneDrive was one of the things that was really kind of slowing it down. But this is a newer computer that I have right now, and it handles OneDrive a lot better. So let's see what you got. You got book 3 in a series. It's also a nano project, so that's cool. You know what? I've never really written a series, but I'm actually really thinking about writing one right now. Here, let me get this thing off the screen here real quick. Let me get that off the screen real quick. I've never really written a series, so I'm looking to probably do that right now. About I want to say earlier this year, I sketched out a series that I'm really excited about. It's a little bit outside my normal comfort zone. It's a kind of dystopian series. It's kind of like the Hunger Games meets the Manchurian Candidate. And so I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be really, really cool. The Hunger Games was something that was outside of my normal reading zone. And I read it. I read the first one because I had the movie on my DVR and I wanted to watch the movie really bad, but I knew I had the book. Actually, I had the original trilogy. I had that, and I thought, you know what? I think I'd rather read the book first because I think most people would tend to agree that the book is usually better than the movie. Although the Hunger Games movie, the first one was actually pretty good. So that's something that I think I thought about that. And I'm like, you know what, I want to definitely read the book first. So I was glad I did. I read all 3 books in the original trilogy for the Hunger Games, and I liked it and became inspired by it. So that was really good. And then of course I read the prequel, if you will, that came out here this year. So all right, so let's go ahead and buckle up. Got another 15-minute writing sprint right here, over 50,000 words for NaNoWriMo. In fact, let's go ahead and let me do this right now. Go ahead and put it in right now while you guys are here with me. Go ahead and get that put in right now. And let's go ahead and see. Hold on, share screen. Should probably stop that thing. It keeps telling me if I have multiple windows that would be a good thing, or multiple monitors, that would be a good thing. And I'm like, duh. And the reason I don't in this particular case is because I decided to do something different and hardline into the internet so it would hopefully stream a little bit better than what it's been. So let me go ahead and which is to get some more writing done. So I'm going to go with one more sprint here. We're going to do a 15-minute sprint, and let me go ahead and reset my clock here, clear it. And we're going to do another 15-minute sprint. And thank you, Barbara. I really appreciate that. It was when I looked at the 50,000 word goal, I felt like that was pretty good for me. I'm a pretty fast writer, and just to be a little extra safe, I decided that I was going to outline like crazy, which is not something that I normally do. So that was something that I was excited about. So let's see, you guys are okay. Barbara's got a cozy mystery series. That is really good. Mysteries are really cool. I've always wanted to do like a nice, like a whodunit, like a Agatha Christie type of a whodunit, where you can sprinkle the clues throughout the story and people have to put it together so that by the end they can solve the crime, whatever it is, whether it's a murder or it's a theft of some kind. You can find the clues to be able to solve it. For those of you who are as old as me or older, or maybe a little bit younger, Murder, She Wrote was a great series that I used to watch in the 80s with my dad. And then I still watch it on IMDb. So I like to, especially when I was younger and the show was original, to be able to kind of follow along and try to find the clues and be able to solve the mystery. So I need to be able to, I think I'm going to try to craft a nice, good mystery story. So yeah, that is pretty cool. Again, I got to do series. I know that's the trend right now for a lot of people to do series. And yes, Murder, She Wrote is classic, cozy style. Who doesn't love Jessica Fletcher, J.B. Fletcher, the famous mystery author? So yeah, it's just really great. It's probably one of my all-time favorite shows. I'd probably put it in my top 5 all-time favorite shows. It's really great. I still watch it all the time. I pull it up and watch it every once in a while. Some of my favorite episodes. So, all right. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump into another 15-minute writing sprint. Everybody who's writing with us, feel free to pull that keyboard up, and let's go ahead and hit that timer and begin your writing now. All right. And that writing sprint is in the books. And since my memory is kind of short, apparently, um, so I got in 509 words on this last 15-minute writing sprint. So I'm in a pretty good place, doing pretty well, cranking it out. And this story is coming along really well. As I mentioned earlier, uh, beyond the 50,000 word goal for NaNoWriMo, I'm thinking that the story that I'm working on right now, that you guys are joining me on this journey with, is probably, like I said, it's probably going to take me about 70,000 words or so, maybe a little bit more than 70,000, between 70 and 75K, to bring it around to a finish without rushing the ending, which I've probably been guilty of more than once, is just rushing to the finish line. And so I'm going to try not to rush to the finish line and try to be meticulous about how I do this. So definitely excited about that. And I think that this is going to be a good project. And I think while it actually the genre is it's a thriller suspense. I want to do mystery at some point. You once again kind of triggered that interest in me for the mystery genre. So yeah, this is more, it's more like a thriller type of a story, and so it's exciting. It just kind of blends a little bit of a sibling rivalry with a mystery that kind of sparks things, and it actually, the story actually starts at a funeral, and so that really is kind of a jarring beginning to it, and it was kind of interesting. So let's see, what are you guys talking about? Do you do an outline? I think James might be asking that of Barbara. Barbara's, I haven't focused on YouTube at all. Simply don't have the time to devote to it. YouTube is, it can be time consuming. Like right now, I'll be honest with you. Um, Taking the time to film and edit the videos, it is time consuming, and I've been in kind of a, I don't want to say a rut, but I haven't been as eager to jump in and do those. But I do have to shoot some videos for my end of the year videos for BookTube. So I'm going to pick my, for example, my fiction book of the year. I'm going to pick my nonfiction book of the year, my pleasant surprise book of the year, my disappointing book of the year, and a few other categories that I'm going to pick. And I'll probably do a backup book for each of those categories as well. Because I just I've had some really good reads this year, and I was going to do a fiction book of the year all along, and then I started reading so many nonfiction books that I decided, you know what, I'm going to do a nonfiction book of the year as well. I read at least 2 really good nonfiction books that I'm very excited about telling you guys what they are as my books of the year. If you probably go back and look at some of my old YouTube BookTube videos here over the course of 2020, you'll probably have a pretty good feel for which ones will be my fiction and nonfiction books of the year. So it's going to be really interesting to come down the stretch run here. I've been November was supposed to be nonfiction November, and it kind of was. You know, I read quite a few nonfiction books, and then I'm probably going to end up finishing the month with a couple of fiction books. I've my book of the month club blue boxes are starting to stack up on me, so I needed to knock some of those out and get some of those done. So Barbara says, yes, I am a plotter. I outline and stick to the beat percentages throughout the story. You know, outlining and sticking to your outline, it can be really difficult for some people. It is sometimes for me. With this particular one, I've never outlined as much as I have for this one. I've mentioned that before. And yet I've been able to, for the most part, be true to the outline, while the things that I've sort of pantsered a little bit have really turned out to be pretty good. So I think those have been some good ad libs. I may have to kind of recalibrate the outline just a little bit, because the direction I'm going right now that pushed me over the 50,000 word mark is not quite the way I had it in the outline. So it's a slight adjustment that could end up being a bigger adjustment if I decide to go where my brain is tempting me to take the story. So, all right, well, it's pushing up on 10 o'clock here, about 15 minutes away from 10 o'clock p.m. here on the East Coast. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this bad boy into the station here and wrap it up here. I appreciate everybody that joined tonight and participated in the reading, or the writing sprints, I should say. And I appreciate you sticking with me. Those of you who were here earlier on when I don't know, I guess I fat fingered some keys and ended up basically losing about 500 words, and then had to redo it, and ended up doing probably a better job than what I had done originally by coming up with 600 plus words. So, it actually turned out, maybe it was a little bit of a blessing in disguise. So I've had times where you fat finger something and it end up corrupting the file, and then you really got massive problems. So you're welcome, Barbara. Thank you for joining and being a part of this. I don't know how many times I'm going to be able to do sprints during the week. I'll probably try to carve out some time at night coming home from work. Of course, this is going to be a short week, a holiday week for a lot of us. So I may come at it either a Wednesday night or probably not Thursday night, but maybe on Friday I'll probably come at it, and get back with you guys. If so, I'll give you guys a heads up at some point on YouTube to let you guys know that that's coming. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. If you have been in here and you've come through and you're still here, please consider hitting the like button for the video. So yeah, that's it. It was an interesting hour and 25 minutes. It was really interesting. I was feeling really bad when I lost when my file started flipping out, and then I got a work call while I was doing it, and that kind of got me all twisted up too. So yeah, but we'll be back for more writing sprints. This is a little bit easier for me. I'm gonna try to gear up for the videos that I'm gonna shoot and edit to kind of focus in on the end of the year videos that I want to do, and I want to make sure I do a pretty good job with those. So you guys are welcome for the writing sprints. Thank you guys for joining, and I'm going to go ahead and close it out and let you guys know, as I said, when the next one is coming up, and hopefully we'll be able to continue to do some good work, and I'll be able to bring this particular book into the station finished and feeling good with the first draft. So that's going to do it. Thank you guys for joining, and look forward to seeing you guys on the next broadcast and other future broadcasts that I'll be showing out from this particular channel. So peace. Have a good night.